So what we have here, AP said pirated edition of John's Bolton memoir have appeared online. Now, right now, you got the opposition party against Trump that is excited about this John Bolton book. It's called The Room Where It Happened, a White House memoir of John Bolton, former National Security Advisor of the United States. Now, you notice he put of the United States because he's been a part of quite a few administrations. We'll get on John Bolton, but and AP said John Bolton memoirs officially come out Tuesday after surviving a security review and a legal challenge from the Justice Department. But over the weekend, it was available in ways even his publishers is hoping to prevent it. So what actually happened is, of course, Trump don't like John Bolton, just going off on him. Now, you can't trust John Bolton, but you can't trust Trump either. John Bolton is going to lie. John Bolton's going to probably tell some truth. But don't you think everything in this book from John Bolton is 100% true? But because people hate Trump so much, they're going to assume that all this stuff is true. I bet it is true. I bet that son of my mother. Bruh. You know me. Where the truth will make you free. Not set you free. Make you free. I'm not going to lie if I don't have to. I mean, if I lie about something, believe me, it's about something that I assume was one thing and it was not when I find out. But believe me, I'm going to get back up here and tell you I was wrong, because I'm not far from being wrong. So Trump tried to stop this book from getting out. So he tried to call his boy, his old pet, head of FBI, his pet, to try to stop the book. So he's going to use the Justice Department for his own personal gain. Well, they wasn't successful. But here's the great thing about it is the book got leaked. So they couldn't pull back the book if they want to now, because it's been leaked out. A PDF of The Room Where It Happened has turned up on the internet, offering a free, I need to get my hands on one, pirated edition of the former National Security Advisor's scathing takedown of President Donald Trump, who has alleged that the book contains classified material that never should be released. Here's Trump using the classified card. Hillary Clinton used the classified card. Stop using the classified card when a lot of these things that you do are personal. And some of these things that Trump discussed in the White House, a lot of them are personal. It has nothing to do with top secrecy and nothing like that. Security of the nation and the safety of its citizens. Nothing like that. Now, here's what Simon & Schuster had to say. We're working assiduously, ASIDUOUSLY, to take down these clearly illegal instances of copyrighted infringement. Simon & Schuster spokesperson Adam Rothberg said Sunday. Now, they don't care nothing about that. See, all they worried about is they're not going to make no money off this book. This book is probably going to be at least $20. You're going to get at least 1 million people that going to read this book because they don't like Trump. And I get it. I don't like Trump as a president. The guy's a bigot, racist, pathological liar with rape allegations. I don't like him. I don't like the other guy who's running either. Same thing. So you ain't going to get me to prop none of them up. But you're going to have millions of people that read that book. See, right now, the biggest way to make some money in politics right now is to be a member on the Trump team and quit. Get all the dirt you can on that sucker, quit, write a book, and 1 million people are going to buy that book to hear about the dirt that you got on the president. And if that book is about $25 hardback, you're going to stand to make some money. So Simon & Schuster is mad now because they can't control the fact that a PDF of this book is out on the internet. It's gone, dog. Ain't nothing y'all going to be able to do. There's nothing you're going to be able to do, Simon & Schuster. It's gone. And it's free. So you ain't going to make no money. Bolton ain't going to make the money that you thought you should make. And you should be making money off of politics anyway. Same thing with Trump. When Trump get out of office and he write about 10 books on his presidency, which he know his base is going to buy, he shouldn't be able to get no money from it. You shouldn't be profiting off being a political figure. Piracy has long been a top concern among publishers, especially in the digital age, although the actual impact on sales is undetermined. Yeah, because look, it's going to be, people going to find a way to get their hand on that PDF. Ain't nobody buying this book. Maybe some rich, wealthy, white elitists, you know, from New York will probably buy the book, but people in my neighborhood ain't buying that crap. And they don't like Trump. The Room Where It Happened has been #1 for days among Amazon bestseller lists. Now, that's not saying nothing, because I got some personal friend. Well, let me stop. No. Getting on the Amazon bestseller list is a big deal. I got a personal friend of mine. He's on the bestseller of the Amazon bestseller list. So that is a huge deal. But will it make it to the New York Times and all these other ones? The Associated Press was among several news outlets that obtained early copies of the book and reported on its content. On Saturday, the federal judge ruled that Simon & Schuster could publish the book despite the Trump administration contention that it is compromised. All right, I want to make sure my mic is on. Compromised national security. The Room Where It Happened was originally scheduled for March, but was delayed twice as White House reviewed the manuscript. Bolton's legal team has said that he spent months addressing White House concern about classified information, and that Bolton has been assured in late April by the officials he was working with that his manuscripts no longer contain any such material. All right, so my question is this. You got Nancy Pelosi, you got a whole House of Representatives upset because Bolton wouldn't testify in front of them. Bolton said, I'll testify in front of the Senate if it gets to the point of being impeachment and you have a trial or whatever. If you need me, I may pop up. May not. But right now, the Democratic Party is mad at him because this book is explaining the horrible things that Trump did. It had nothing to do with Russia. It had nothing to do with all that kind of crap that they were trying to impeach him on. So what does it matter, Democrats? What does it matter, Republicans? Majority of this book probably had nothing to do with Russia collusion. So you're mad because this book might have had some information that could have led to him being impeached. Now, there's many ways you could impeach Trump. You just choose not to go that way because that means you're going to be called to the carpet for it too. Many ways. But yet, nevertheless, they are excited about John Bolton being on their side now. First it was George W. Bush. Now it's, now it's Mitt Romney out there marching with protesters. Now it's John Bolton. So these egomaniac, psychopathic, diabolical, evil tricksters like John Bolton, Ellie Ingram, I keep messing his name, Mitt Romney, who was for the war, all these people who are for war, death, profiteering, blood spill are now your friends. George Bush are now the friends of the Democratic Party. At least we can get some civility. Y'all are so consumed with Trump derangement syndrome that the ones who used to be our enemies, we consider it our friend now because it's what they call it. It's Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's like the children of Israel in the Bible. Some of them wanted to go back to Egypt because they were struggling in the wilderness. At least we had food. At least we had shelter. At least we had clothing. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, they'll beat you half to death too. And you're working from sun up to sun up. And you're passing out in the field. Your kids was doing the same thing too. So now when you're on your way to freedom and some ugly come in front of your face to block you or challenge you, you want to go back to the doo-doo. You want to go back to the dunghill. You want to go back, you want to go and eat your vomit. That's how Trump has gotten you guys so bad. And don't get me wrong, Trump is horrible, but you shouldn't be losing your mind over this stuff. I'm tired of this good cop, bad cop relationship between Democrat and Republican. Both of y'all trying to convict me. Both of y'all trying to get me in jail. One of the cops got to look evil in order for you to listen to the so-called good cop. And it's the so-called good cop that get the information from you that land your butt in jail. Stop falling for it. And then I got to go up here and then I got to watch this crap from Whoopi Goldberg in The View.
Security advisor John Bolton. White House is suing to block the release of the book The Room Where It Happened by former National Security Advisor John Bolton. And joining Hot Topics is ABC News anchor who sat down with Bolton for an interview. It's amazing. Martha Raddatz. How are you doing today? And boy, is this a blockbuster.
It is a total blockbuster.
See, boy, is this a blockbuster. It is a total blockbuster. Get out there and get that book and make that evil, rich, maniac bastard a bunch of money. Yeah, I said bastard. That Wild Wild West villain, John Bolton, a bunch of money. I mean, you hate Trump. I get it. I don't like the guy. But you got to hate him so bad that you're going to prop up and mamby-pamby this little old psychopathic fool right here. The reason he hate Trump is because Trump didn't do some of the crazy things that he wanted to do, like bomb Korea, send a bunch of our troops to fight old stupid wars, invade Venezuela, invade Iran. All this guy do, he wake up with a boner thinking about freaking war. You mention war, he start rubbing it, he start touching himself. You mention war, he'll put on a tweet song. This maniac. And here we got the ladies of The View and their guest hope smiling and grinning because John Bolton is dumping on Trump. John Bolton is dumping on Trump. That's fine. He can dump on Trump, but why y'all sitting up here letting this fool go? This guy's nuts. Well, as long as he dump on Trump, he's our friend. He is not your friend. Both of them are your enemies. Both of them. Most of you rich bastards up here, excuse my language, Lord forgive me. Most of you rich people up here, your son's not going out to war and fighting these battles because they got a certain amount of money in the nest egg, and they look out for some reason, they look out for kids who parents have money when it comes to the military. But people like me, when I grew up, we knew that the only way we can go to school was to join the military, to get the GI Bill. So we put ourselves in harm's way to get something that's going to better our lives. You already offering that to your children, so your children ain't got to go to the war that John Bolton would have sent them to. Put them in the front lines, and they come back in a pine box with a flag on top of it. And yet you still hating on Trump. Yet this fool was trying to get Trump to get your child to go out there and invade Venezuela, only to come back in a pine box with a flag on it. All to remove somebody from being president. I'm sorry, man. I hate this stuff.
I'm telling you, page after page is just jaw-dropping what John Bolton says about President Trump throughout the book, throughout our interview, and there's lots more of that interview to come on Sunday.
So page after page, who is she? His spokesperson? His chief salesperson? Because she sure got y'all. I mean, if I wasn't a fool, my mouth would be watering what he's saying in his book. But I really don't give a crap about what John Bolton says because he's a maniac himself. I don't want to hear from a maniac. A maniac dumping on another freaking maniac. What kind of mess? Why are you guys buying a book on two maniacs spilling the beans on one another? I'm quite sure Trump gonna clap back and talk about the crazy mess that this fool wanted to do. And there were some crazy things that this fool wanted to do that even Trump said, nah, bro, I ain't doing that.
Well, as you know, he is enraged about the book, and for months he's been trying to keep it from being published, but he's been tweeting over the last 24 hours, calling Bolton a liar and a wacko. I mean, he actually, didn't he hire Bolton? I mean, it's kind of wild to have him say this is all the case with Bolton now, when he praised him when he left. What's happening here?
Well, he certainly did praise him when he left, but the president says he fired Bolton. Bolton says he resigned after 17 months. But the extraordinary thing here is this is the highest-ranking person we have heard from who was in that White House, who was side by side with President Trump for 17 months. This is the most comprehensive account from that high-ranking official we have heard. And he uses phrases like President Trump is erratic, stunningly uninformed, ignorant of basic facts. He thought Finland was part of Russia, thought it would be cool to use military action in Venezuela. This is all what John Bolton is talking about.
Yeah. Everybody know Trump is dumb as a sock when it comes to geopolitical affairs. Dumb as a freaking sock. Everybody know John Bolton is smart as a computer, top graded when it comes to geopolitical affairs. And that's why this guy's dangerous. He could manipulate the sock. He wanted to control the sock. He wanted to control Trump when it came to geopolitical affairs. And when it came to the point where he probably thought, I can get Trump to get us to move into Venezuela. I can get Trump to go ahead and get us to topple this dictator and that dictator, go ahead and get rid of the dictator in Iran. Then my job is done. So he only wanted to be in this position of national security advisor to try to use Trump to push his own agenda. Now, I got to say, thank God Trump didn't move on some of the stuff that John Bolton did, because your children, if you got children, would be on the front line in a freaking war that means nothing to us. What Venezuela has to do with us? Oh, I know. Rich people getting gas and oil and petroleum. That's what it is. What does it mean to the people over here in Mount Vernon, people over in New Rochelle, people in the Bronx, people in all different parts of the Queens, Jamaica, you name it. What does that mean to them? They ain't getting a piece of the oil. They're not getting a piece of the petroleum. Maybe they're barely putting it in their car if they got one. I know y'all don't see me on the screen right now, but I'm making the same face this lady making. What they got to do with us? And now he mad and want to go off on Trump. Like I said, you can go off on Trump. Trump don't need nobody. That's why I keep saying Trump is hanging himself right now. Joe Biden is not beating Trump because Joe Biden sucked. Joe Biden gonna win this election for the simple fact that he ain't got to say nothing. All he have to do is sit there and watch Trump hang himself, and everybody going to vote for him. I got people saying, I'd rather vote for a cockroach. I'd rather vote for a snail. I'm like, bro, your brain is fried. You don't want no cockroach, no snail running this country. Once we get him in office, things need to be done, and he ain't going to be able to do them. But that's the choice that you make when you vote the lesser of two evils. Let me keep going.
Martha, Bolton is very candid in the book about his assessment of the president, as you just mentioned, and you asked him about that in your interview. I believe we have a clip.
You described the president as erratic, foolish, behaved irrationally, bizarrely. You can't leave him alone for a minute. He saw conspiracies behind rocks and was stunningly uninformed. He couldn't tell the difference between his personal interests and the country's interests.
I don't think he's fit for office.
Now, here we got John Bolton got the nerve to say, you can tell what Trump was doing something for his personal interests or for the interests of the country. Well, we already know Trump going to try to do everything for the interests of his personal being. You know, because he want to be Obama so freaking bad it ain't going to ever happen, Doc. You're not old Obama. You know, you're not Obama. You're not Obama. But he got the nerves to talk about personal goals. Bruh, your whole tenure, your whole political policies are to make you look good. You maniac.
Office. I don't think he has the competence to carry out the job. There really isn't any guiding principle that I was able to discern other than
he gonna talk about there isn't any guiding principle that Trump has. Bro, where's your guiding principle? Your guiding principle is I need a mushroom cloud over Iran in the shape of my mustache. I need that white cloud whiter than me in my hair. It's fool, man. People sitting over here entertaining and stuff, man. It's just crazy.
And what's good for Donald Trump's reelection.
Now, based on details that have been leaking out from the book.
Now, look, guys, look, let me stop this for a second. Everything is election, especially in election season. Whatever decision you make, you're not going to make it. You're only going to make it for the good of, will it get you to a re-election? That's why I say in this season, this is when you put the political pressure on your politicians. Let me bring myself back up. This is the time when you put the political pressure on these politicians because they'll do anything to get your vote. At least they should. They should be begging and growling and crawling. Nobody should assume that they're going to get your vote. You got to make them earn it. Problem is, we got too many slut voters just going to slut. Got plenty of people slut vote. You know, I'm just going to go and live with the guy across the street because the guy in my house beating the hell out of me. You don't know that dude? He'll beat the hell out of you too after a while. You don't know that guy? Well, anybody better than that fool I got in the house right now. You don't know that. You assume that. Well, I seen him around town. He seemed like a nice guy. You don't know that until you live with that guy. But that's how people play in our politics. Anybody better than that fool. I'm tired of that fool beating on me and mistreating me. I'm leaving. Well, where you going? I'm going anywhere. I'm going across the street. But yo, that dude ain't all that tight wrapped up himself. Yeah, but ain't nobody worse than that guy. You don't know that. You don't know that. How I got on this, I don't know. Let's go back.
Book, Bolton goes on to say that the Ukraine call that was at the center of Trump's impeachment charges was just the tip of the iceberg when it came to his abuses of power. He even describes an incident when President Trump asked China's President Xi to help him win re-election in 2020. What have you learned about that?
Well, what Bolton says is that Trump asked President Xi to buy U.S. soybeans and wheat so he could get the vote in the farm state, so he could tell the farmers, look, I have this great deal. They're buying wheat and soybeans. And he said he heard Trump pleading with Xi to ensure he'd win. But listen to that statement again that you just played. He does not think that Donald Trump is fit to be president.
All right, so Donald Trump goes to President Xi in China and tries to negotiate farm contracts. All right, we got our farmers out there working hard, busting their butts to produce these products. Could you guys please buy some? And yeah, it's going to make me look good. It makes me look good when I know I got my farmers out there working. Why are you guys making a big issue of that? That's what you're supposed to do. You want to reassure your base. And if your base is farm country and you out there producing for your base, that's the name of the freaking game. Well, he only doing that for political purposes. He's not doing it for the farmers. Well, the farmer's going to be satisfied. And if it helps his political gain, that is the whole point. Y'all going to make a big issue off of something that is not freaking killing people. Go to something else, John Bolton, you maniac. Go to something else. The man worried about his reelection, so he's trying to, every president, y'all got me saying something positive about this dude. Every president should be doing for their base. The person who put you in office, you should be satisfying that person who put you in office so they can put you in office a second time. So if most of farm country supported Trump and pushed Trump to the White House, they expect Trump to support them and push him with some deals. I put you in office. I put you in office to take care of us. Now get to take care of it. And y'all think when have we ever thought that was a bad strategy? It's the same thing with Black Lives Matters. I'm gonna get to that in a moment. Black Lives Matter, the organization, has co-opted this whole protest. Black Lives Matters, the organization, and Black Lives Matter, the movement, is two totally separate things. Their agenda is not black equality. It's not. Yeah, they're screaming Black Lives Matter, and they're using that as the flag. But under that flag, they're running on some of everything for some of everybody. And right now, we need to take care of black first. And I'm going to talk about that. That's why I say stay focused. But when has it become a bad deal when you go to the president of China and say, look, bro, I need you to buy some of my products, man, whatever we got to do. John Bolton said he begged. Well, if he got to beg President Xi to get some work for his farmers so his farmers can make money, then go beg. Problem is with most of you politicians, you too proud to beg. You want to try to look like you strong. You ain't strong when you're not helping your constituents. You're weak. God, man, I don't like Trump. I don't want Trump to be reelected, but y'all worrying about the wrong, dumb thing. That's a good thing that Trump's supposed to do. I wish Biden do it, and I wish anybody else running for office do it. Whatever the people said they needed, when they put you in office, it's your job to make sure you fulfill that need, because that's the reason why they put you in office in the first place. That's why I tell you, you better not go to that voting booth with the anti-Trump vote, because that hurts the country. You got to go pushing your politicians to do things that's going to help you. And if he commit to it, you make sure he commit to it, then you go vote for him. Anti-vote is not going to help anything. What are you going to do? Once I get you in office, what you going to do? All right, let me keep going.
That is an extraordinary statement from a top official, a former top official, about a sitting president.
That's an extraordinary statement from an egotistical, psychotic, maniac, diabolical, evil man who wants to control another egotistical, psychological, diabolical man. And since they don't agree and they're not going to do this together, John Bolton going to dump on him. He got the nerves to say he's unfit for president. Well, I'm glad you ain't ever going to be president. Lord knows what the world would be like if you were president. You thought Trump is a maniac, and he is. Just like the other person running, he's a closet maniac. It's like Saddam Hussein, man. Saddam Hussein, he didn't show his evil side until he gained power. Oh, boy. Have you ever seen that video when he gained that power? He had guys try to stand up against him, and he had them taken out and had them all hung and shot. That's what you would get with John Bolton.
Martha, Bolton always seemed like an odd fit for this administration from my perspective. And during his tenure, he had a number of disagreements with the president on foreign policy issues, from Afghanistan to Iran. Is Bolton disgruntled by the way things went down? And do you get the sense he's sort of out for revenge here? What does he say is his motivation?
Now, y'all got me agreeing with Meghan McCain. Come on, man. Come on. She's right. Is John Bolton out for revenge? Because he is a person that's out for revenge. Oh, he got fired by Trump. John Bolton has never been fired. Never. When you get fired by somebody, you get a little chip on your shoulder. I've been fired before. And man, I wanted to go back and knock the person who let me go out. I wanted to punch him in his jaw. I took it very personal. Matter of fact, that firing fueled me to be more of a stronger organizer. So Meghan got a point right here.
for putting this out right now. He's certainly getting a big paycheck to do it.
You know, really good point, because they were an odd fit from the very beginning. As you know well, Megyn, John Bolton is kind of a hammer when it comes to foreign policy. And while President Trump talks tough, he did want to get out of Afghanistan and Syria and pull troops out of Iraq. And he definitely had clashes with John Bolton. But John Bolton will tell you he is not a disgruntled employee. This book, he says, is just about the facts.
So, Martha, it's Joy. There were plenty of opportunities for Bolton to speak out back in January during the impeachment trial, as we all remember, when Democrats called on him to voluntarily testify, but he declined. Okay, a lot of people, myself included, feel like he shirked his responsibilities as a public servant and American so that he could make a buck by writing this book. What does he say to that criticism?
Well, he has been heavily criticized. You're not the only one for not testifying at the impeachment hearings. He says he thought they were too politicized, too narrow in focus, that they should have looked at several more issues that came up. But his testimony was a key point, or his testimony could have been a key point. One of the things the president's lawyers said is that no one actually heard Trump make the connection between the security assistance and the investigation of Joe Biden. Bolton says that in the book. He says that in the interview to me, that he actually heard that. The president, of course, you've heard, is saying that's not true. That's not true. But Bolton says he simply didn't think he'd make any difference. And now I think he's talking and writing this book, says Bolton, because of the upcoming election.
Right. Well, better late than never is what I say.
Stop it, Joy. You know you're happy.
He's defended his decision for not testifying by saying it wouldn't have changed anything. And in a way, I sort of think that may be true, because even though it was pretty much proven that Trump went to Ukraine to help him with his re-election, a lot of the leadership in the Republican Party said that that was not an impeachable offense.
Now, how did Trump going to Ukraine help him with his re-election? What can Ukraine do? So you telling me Ukraine is going to help Joe Biden with his election? Seemed like Joe Biden had more stuff done for him by Ukraine than Trump could ever do. Yeah, Ukraine got rid of a prosecutor that was investigating his son. So who you think got more power? Now, I'll tell you, you know, Trump may be president, but he don't know what the hell he's doing. He don't know politics. He has to depend on advisors, and you got to trust those advisors. And this nutcase was one of his advisors, and he couldn't trust him, so he got rid of him. And that's why you get a lot of people getting fired from Trump administration, because either two things: you're going to be loyal, which is illegal. It's going to be like a mafia. You got to kiss the ringer. I'm going to be your not Don Corleone, but a Don Corleone type figure in the White House. You're going to be a mob boss. And that's what Trump does sometimes. Or, you know, you're just going to sell out to do whatever, you know, the deep state tell you to do. The point is, there was nothing to this Russia thing. There was nothing could add to this thing. John Bolton tried to tell them which areas to go to get rid of Trump. They didn't want to go through those areas because half of them committed the same crime, Democrats and Republican, and one of them was making money while you're in office. How in the hell you get $150 million as a politician?
So I guess it wouldn't have made any difference if he also went to China. Am I right?
I think you've got a strong point there, Joy. I think he does keep saying it wouldn't have made a difference, and the politicization of this. And it did seem going into this that a lot of people, into the impeachment hearings, that a lot of people had already made up their minds.
A lot of people made up their mind when it came to this Trump impeachment. Either he was going to be guilty or not guilty. Not many people in the middle and say, let's see. Like I said, he's guilty of some crimes in office, but it's not Russia. And his family is guilty of crimes in office. But everybody was too scared to challenge him on those crimes or go that direction because they committed those same crimes. So see no evil, hear no evil. I'm just going to shut my mouth up because I'm doing the same freaking thing too.